What is up, amigos? Hope you're doing well. There are some movies that don't just tell a story, they make you feel every heartbeat of it. Sanam Teri Kasam was one of those films. A movie that didn't get its due in its time, yet over the years it found its audience. People who carried its emotions in their hearts, people who cried for Inder and Suu long after the credits rolled. Now, if you've ever been in love, or even if you've never been, Sanam Teri Kasam had a way of making you feel like you had lived a lifetime of heartbreaking longing in just 2.5 hours. And now, with its theatrical re release, it's time to revisit this underrated gem, to relive its magic, and to ask, why did this film connect so deeply with those who gave it a chance? Let's dive back into Sanam Teri Kasam, its story, its heartbreak, and the impact it left behind. So the story of Sanam Teri Kasam wasn't just a love story. It was a love tragedy written in pain and poetry. At its heart was Saraswati or Saru, played by Mawra, an innocent, bookish girl whose conservative family had caged her dreams. She wasn't the stereotypical Bollywood heroine, draped in glamour. She was simple, awkward, and painfully invisible to the world. And then there was Inder. Harshvardhan Rane, with his brooding eyes and unspoken emotions, became the perfect embodiment of a man haunted by his past yet desperate to protect what little love he had found. He wasn't your knight in shining armor. He was the man love had already broken. Their love story was anything but conventional. A misunderstanding, a cruel father, and a night that changed everything. Saru found herself abandoned by her family, shunned by the society, and forced to start anew. And standing beside her, without ever asking for anything in return, was Inder, a love that never needed words, a love that grew in silence. But life had other plans. Fate was cruel. Just when Saru and Inder found happiness, the story took a turn so tragic that even the strongest hearts shattered. Because Sanam Teri Kasam wasn't about love winning, it was about love that never got the chance to. Now here's the thing, back in 2016, Sanam Teri Kasam wasn't a blockbuster. It wasn't hype, it didn't break records, it wasn't celebrated like the big Bollywood romances of its time, but those who watched it, they felt it. And that's why years later it became a cult favorite. Now, because it wasn't trying to be a fairy tale, it was raw, it was real. The movie's cinematography painted heartbreak in its most poetic way. The lingering close-ups, the haunting silences, the way Inder looked at Saru with love he could never confess, it all made you feel their pain. And their music, from Tera Chehra to Sanam Teri Kasam, every song was a dagger straight to the heart. And Himesh Reshammiya gave us an album that still brings back the same ache years later. How many of us have cried listening to Bewajah? How many of us have found ourselves lost in the pain of Hale Dil? It wasn't just a soundtrack, it was the soul of the film. And then there was the ending. Some movies leave you numb. How some endings refuse to leave your mind. Saru's fate wasn't just tragic, it was cruel. Inder's breakdown, his silent screams, the way he held on to that one person who finally made him believe in love, only to lose her forever again. It was unfair, and maybe that's why it still hurts. Maybe that's why Sanam Teri Kasam never faded away. But why did this film not work at the box office? One reason, maybe expectations. When people saw the title Sanam Teri Kasam, they probably expected an old school Bollywood romance, not a heartbreak that would destroy them from inside. The film was unconventional. It didn't have the usual Bollywood formulas. It was not overly melodramatic. It was intense and emotionally exhausting. But here's the thing, over time, movies find their audience, right? And that's exactly what happened. Through word of mouth, social media, streaming platforms, Sanam Teri Kasam became the movie people recommended when they wanted them to cry. It became a movie that connected with those who had loved and lost. It found its home in the hearts of those who had been broken once, and now it's back in the theaters. A second chance for people to experience the heartbreak, a second chance for those who missed it the first time, and maybe, just maybe, a second chance for Inder and Saru's story to be loved the way it was always deserved to be. Some movies make you smile, some movies make you cry, but some, they deserve to be felt again. Sanam Teri Kasam was never just a movie. It was an emotion, a love story that never got its happy ending, but one that lived forever in the hearts of those who watched it. And now it's coming back to the big screen in a couple of days. This isn't just a re-release, it's a second chance to experience Inder and Saru's story the way it was meant to be seen on the grand canvas of a theater, where every tear, every stolen glance, and every heartbreak feels larger than life. If you have never watched Sanam Teri Kasam, this is your moment. If you have watched it before, it's time to relive it, to cry once more, to feel once more, to give this film the love it always deserved. So book your tickets, grab your tissues, and go witness this tragic, hauntingly beautiful love story in theaters, because some stories deserve another chance. To all those who have loved and lost, to all those who have ever wished for one more moment, one more chance, this is your film. This is your heartbreak. This is Sanam Teri Kasam, and this time, don't let it go unnoticed. Bye bye.